Alright, we are here, reloading with a old version of Niv. This is basically a greatest hit. The deck list is below, and we've got our first match here. So, this hand is missing red, but we do have an instant removal spell and potential on Mordigo if they're a heavy combo deck. Oh, it's burned, so oh, we hit red, so yeah, we're gonna go with a Helix here. We'll save the Vanishing Verse. Right now, we gotta punish our life. Right, there is a Slickshot Show Off. Corey Steelcutter, that's another reason why we've held on to this, so let's Vanishing Verse that. They do get the 1-1, but unfortunately for us, they won't be able to give it haste, which is a big deal. Alright, we're getting hit. Man, we are flooding hard. Alright, let's go with Toph here. One of the reasons we're running Toph is we can get back a removal spell. I'm not expecting Toph to live here, but if it does, it would be a huge hit for us. Ooh, Sleight of Hand. We could very easily die to Slick Shot here. Alright, there's the Reckless Rage. The card that only exists in this deck because they've still got Screaming Nemesis. There's the Monstrous Rage. We're down to 5, and we draw another land. Yeah, this one has got away from us. Pretty rough start there, but we basically flooded out. So, okay. Definitely going to bring in the Deafening Silences here. And unmoored Egos. Take out the Toph. 1 Niv. And we'll drop a Biotech. Unmoored Ego doesn't really have a target. Valky's a bit too slow. Joshua's good, but we'll go down to 1. So, big thing with Prowess decks. They need to cast multiple non-creature spells a turn, so unmoored Egos are great. Okay, but also, so is Supreme in this matchup. So, there's Kimono faces Kakusan. Let's play another Triumph here, since they don't have a huge bit of pressure here. There's a Swift Spear with a 1-1 counter. And there's a Sleight of Hand, so it's up to 3. But they will be tapped out, so we could hit here with a... Oh wait, oh, that was bad. I did not shock it in, forgetting that we didn't have a red. There's a Corey Steelcutter, so I will immediately normalize that. I do not want them having access to that. Right, we take 5, we're down to 11. We are struggling for lands here, so we will pass. There's a Slick Shot. And then move to combat. Right, I'm going to hit the Slick Shot here. There is much more power. Obviously, yeah. Another reason is Prowess would put the Monastery Mentor out of range of our attack. So, there's our third. Alright, let's make him discard to get rid of resources and take out the Etchings of Kumano. They drop a second Slick Shot, which means they must have a third one in hand. Okay. Magebane Lizard and a second Main Mage Lizard, so let's just go immediately for a Supreme Verdict. We will take 2, but we've cleared their board and they have a single card in hand. Right. Play this land tapped. We're going to play the Wandering Mind because it's a blocker that can find us something. Ancient Cornucopia, thank you. That is amazing in this matchup. There's a Burst Lightning putting us down to 1. So, Ancient Cornucopia, and we'll play the Biotech Specialist gaining 2 life. Then we'll play the Deafening Silence to slow him down, and we'll hold back here for a hasty blocker. Right, there's Supreme giving us 5 life, and our opponent concedes. Whew. We went down to 1 there. We were clenching in that one. Alright, I think we run it back. Toph is in an interesting place. I keep sideboarding her out against mega aggro matchups, but I do feel like she does have a place in this deck. I do like the card. Okay, this hand is slow, so we could get folded in half here, but them not opening on a creature is pretty huge. Okay. Let's get ready for a Vanishing Verse if they go for a greedy... Yeah, there's a greedy cutter, so we can exile that before they can use it. Nice. Now, fortunately, that does mean that we can't do anything else right now, but we seem to be fortunate. There's a Magebane Lizard. Oh yeah, Ancient Cornucopia, that's fine. We'll take 1 for the Magebane. There's a Slick Shot. And a Monstrous Rage. This is going to be significant damage. Puts us down to 10. Alright, so it's Molten Collapse, and we'll kill the Ancient and gain a land. Play land tapped, and then we'll just hold back. There's a Swift Spear, and a Consider. They're taking as much damage as us from the Mage Bane now. There's a Faces of Kumano. Oof, we're clenching again, down to 6. Right. I think our best bet here is to go for the Wandering Mind. We're going to take the Lightning Helix, play land tapped, and then we'll pass back. Now, we can hold up interaction here. There's a Consider. Right. We could... Let's just wait and see what they go for. Kumano puts them down to 2 from the Mage Bane. They're going in. We can block the Monastery here. I'm not too bothered. Let that go. End step. We will go for the Lightning Helix. They could kill it to gain life in response. Nope, we go back to 10. Pretty good. Play land tapped. We will Maelstrom Pulse the Kumanos. Pretty good. Gain us 2 more life. We're still on 11. We'll hold this Tyrant Scorn as an emergency panic button for a slick shot sell-off. Right, let's kill that. Gain 2 life but lose 1 to Mage Bane. Okay, so we are 1 land away from a Yorion, which we get. So we're going to play a Biotech here. It can chump the Mage Bane and give us a lander token to pop later if we want to. Our opponent, Soulscar Mage. Okay, that's going to be a problem if they have burn. End step, let's pop the lander. Dome for 2, they're down to 9. They could just die to their own Mage Bane if they keep going in this vein. So let's play Yorion, gaining 2 life and blinking the board. End step, this stuff will come back, make another lander token, and we'll pass. If in response, oh, they could just concede. Yep, we grinded it out there. Close matches. Second match, let's go. So, Stoutland. Right, this hand has Cornucopia into Bring to Light. We don't have red or black at this rate, so we could really do with drawing one of those colors. There's a Mayhem Devil, so this is Rakdos Sac. So let's get an Ancient Cornucopia down here. Pretty good. They seem to have had a slow start. I haven't seen a Fort Seize from them. There's a Cauldron Familiar though. That's scary if they find the Witch's Oven. Okay, let's play the Fawn and go for the Bring to Light here. Based on the fact that our cards are pretty slim right now, I think our best bet is just to grab Niv and go for our traditional gain 5 life. Reload. And we get... Right, they are going to just kill this straight away. Was totally prepared for that. That's fine. Niv gets us Clarion and another Bring to Light. Okay. So they have Edicts. That's a note that Supreme is not as solid here. Let's Clarion here, clear the board, gain 2 life. Then we can deploy the Wandering Mind. Oh, they didn't have an instant speed sack in response, so we'll do that. Wandering Mind will dig. We will take another Bring to Light, might as well. There's a Fatal Push, yep. So the hand must be all removal spells. So knowing that the hand is probably all removal here and we have 7 mana, I think our best bet here is to go for a classic Tybalt. Start exiling cards from their library and ours. And we just hit lands, so sure. Makes sense, makes sense. Ooh, Desperation Draw from Castle Lockbrain, putting them down. There's the oven. So they need something to sack for food. Okay, we'll shock in here. I think our best bet might be to... Yeah, let's go for the kill on the Witch's Oven, see if they want to respond by sacking it. That's the right play, yep. They fortunately don't make a 1-1 from this, so let's plus again. We've played our lands. Let's go for the Bring to Light here. I think our best bet is to just go for Night of Autumn. Let's just take out the Anvil here. We don't need a reload right now. We have 2 possible reloads, and we just want to keep their board presence clear. There's a Claim the Firstborn. They hit us probably forgetting that Tybalt's Ultimate exiles an entire graveyard here. They Fatal Push without triggering Revolt, which was weird. And yep, okay. They are in silver, and I don't want to judge, but I do think that they maybe were not prepared for I don't know, maybe they weren't prepared for what Tribalt could do. Right, Toff's coming out. We know that this is a sack deck, and they know that they're very heavy in removal. So let's keep the board as clear as possible, I'm saying. We definitely need those Ashioks to get rid of their graveyard. And a few other things. Okay, so keeping a 7. We have a turn 2 Vanishing Verse into a Wandering Mind. Sorry, into a Colligan's Command, or a Cornucopia, dependent. So let's hold up the Vanishing Verse here, see if they go for anything big. Anvil, sadly, is not a good target for that. Right, I here am going to deploy the Cornucopia, get it going. They could have brought in a Braids. I can't remember, I don't think we played a Cornucopia last turn, so we'll see. Opponent drops the Mayhem Devil. Alright, shock in. I think it's better if we just kill the no. You know what? I'm going to go for the Bring to Light play here. Now, my logic for this is, I have a full hand, as you'll see in the video thing, so let's just get the reload. We get a full 5 cards. Now, I think it's better that we put board presence on here. Now, it's very probable that they have a ton of removal. So, we need more answers to what they've got here. And I was hoping to hit some of our graveyard hate. Second Anvil. And they're going to sacrifice the 1 to trigger the Mayhem Devil, make a bunch of 1/1s. Then sack them with a Corruption to draw 2 cards. No attacks, no nothing there. Right. I'm going to go for the Lightning Helix here. See if they want to respond by sacking the Mayhem Devil. They don't. Alright, so board seems pretty good here. Let's swing in with Niv. And in the second main phase, let's Kavu the Mindbitten. Let's get a 4/4 Mayhem Devil, which is a great response to any of their sack shenanigans now, because we can literally use it to kill. Well, it's basically they'll sack and do damage to themselves. Ooh, there's an Invoke Despair, so we'll just sack Niv and start attacking them. Invoke Despair is the bane of my existence, as I've said before. Let's shock in. Let's K command, return, accrete the Niv, blow up the Oni Cult Anvil. And I forgot to press the reload button previously, didn't I? They go down to 10 here. Let's play the Wandering Mind, installation against some sacrifice effects. There's an Ashiok, which is a pretty good hit for this. Hit a Gugu second right. Okay, full respect to that. I see what they were trying to do. Love it. Okay, so this video is actually broken down into 2. There's going to be a little split in the video here, because holy crud, this player took forever. And right, I am not one to suggest anything here, but I'm going to assume this gentleman was double queuing. They're basically playing Is It Phoenix, which, as you know, is a pretty fast-paced deck. It wants you to just basically counter free. And they even have Corey Steelcutter here, so we're just going to Vanishing Verse that. But you'll notice right now, they're playing super slow. They're just... yeah, look, everything is taking time to consider. There's a sleight of hand to activate the Steelcutter. Play our land, use the Night of Autumn here. Let's blow up the Corey Steelcutter. So 2 of them are gone here. So there's going to be a cut in the video when we go to our sideboarding here. Right, they mill free, get back another sleight of hand here. Now obviously they just cast another spell to make the token bigger than the Night of Autumn. But apparently they want to wait. Yeah, they didn't even cast a spell. We saw this spell, so I'm going to block here to just preserve life total. And I decided to grab Yorion here, which was a huge mistake. I should have just took this token out immediately. And I'd like to point out here, okay, I am playing this video back at 2 times speed. So, yeah, they just took all that time to do a treasure cruise. They play the land. There's the artist talent. Right, we get our land. And I decide here, I look at the board state and I think to myself, best option here, I've got a Maelstrom Pulse that. And I think to myself, I've got to do that because we can't deal with Artist Talent. Artist Talent is just too much value in this deck. There's a Prophetic Memory, which puts the slammers on this. Because now they'll just start pumping the token more and more each time. I'd like to point out that we are 5 turns in and it's literally been over 5 minutes. They're literally taking like a turn a minute here. Reload. So we reload here, we find 1 hard removal spell and a few smaller things here. They Lightning Axe, throwing away a card. Fiery Impulse, there we go. And then they opt, which is weird. But it means they probably have a Treasure Cruise in hand. So basically at this point I'm like, okay, you know what? It's genuinely like I'm considering that they're just like burning time here. Like they're having bad luck here with some of these mills. Like they didn't even hit an instant or sorcery there. But you see here, they have a treasure cruise. They're going to put a bunch of tokens on a bunch of cards on the, a bunch of 1/1 counters. So I'm like, I can see to move to the next match. Okay, so we lost a lot of our sideboarding here, but we basically bought in the entire sideboard. Dryad Militants, everything else. I keep a very dodgy hand here, and I'm going to again say that I'm going to play a Dryad Militant here, which means that any cantrips or stuff they play will just go away, so they have to basically kill this before they can do anything. But yeah, look at this, how long it has taken them to make this decision. And I'm going to tell you a spoiler alert here. I start spamming your go because I'm getting frustrated. Because, and you'll see the effects of this. Consider the amount of game actions they're taking. Like, you cannot tell me that they're not just effing trolling right now. I start spamming your go here because you should not be going to damn time for every frippin' decision. Double Cornucopia is going to put us out of like life gain here, strategies. I'm going to veto that just for the sake of it and pass it back. We're at 19 life here, we have options, we just need to draw some action. And like you'll see here, everything that they're doing is taking so damn long. Like, it's very hard to put commentary on this. I would genuinely be surprised here. So we're going to try and play a Supreme, see if they've bought in counter spells. They have something because they're very clearly like not doing anything right now. Nope, comes in, okay, that's fine. So they must have, yep, there's a mill spell, don't hit anything. It's going to be very hard, as I said, to fully thing on this match. Like, the second half of this recording is over 20 minutes for 2 games of Magic. And like, I am a fan of fighting to the end. But look at this. They are like, oh, I'm casting a treasure cruise. The spawn timer should not appear every time you want to take a game action here. Like, genuinely, I am perplexed as to how this is happening. I'm going to hit him for 5, put him down to 15. Then we'll just wait for them. We can jump back the veto if they try to go for anything big. But we're just going to use the traditional thing here that nothing in their thing can kill this. So, yep, let's jump back the veto, gain 4 life. There's a Consider. That's 1 creature spell. Second Consider. They draw. There's a Bring to Light here, so we'll go for a full Bring here. And we don't have anything in hand, so I think our best bet is... yeah, we're going to go for Niv here. Reload. And Niv finds us an Ashiok. So an Ashiok here milling their graveyard is huge. Let's go for that. There goes their entire graveyard. Hit them for down to 10. And we pass it back. They can't search their library. And they concede. So that is 6 minutes. And there's still 18 minutes to go here. In a Phoenix matchup. Like, genuinely, how do you go to time with Phoenix? Like, I played budget Phoenix, and it's like, I haven't played since Steel Cutter was added to the deck, but I would have thought Steel Cutter would make it easier, because all you have to do with Steel Cutter is count to 2. Like, should have made it simpler for you Phoenix players. I am being hyperbolical here. I am joking around, but God. This felt like the scum move here. I feel like this opponent was just literally trolling to just be like, I'm going to make him take all of his time. And you'll see why here. Because this game, I pretty much... Yeah. So there's a deafening silence, which I would really like to get down here. Which would just basically shut off their deck. But unfortunately, we can't cast anything else. So I'm looking at the hand and going... We have a hate piece here, and it's worth trying. Now, we could get dunked on very hard here if they manage to resolve multiple things here. But yeah, a theme for this match was literally the Phoenix player would literally let their timer show up for every game action. Right, I'm just going to shock in and get Deafening Silence down here, because now it means they can only cast one non-creature spell a turn. There's a Steel Cutter. Play a land and pass back. We can veto, and we will, because we don't want them to have an artist talent. Play a land, and then we'll use this Knight of Autumn to kill the Steel Cutter, so they can't use that again. Again, we are drawing a lot of red cards and not finding much red mana. That's okay though, because we do have a Vanishing Verse, so let's just put some pressure on here. They're missing land drops. There's a Picklock Prankster. They mill 2 Phoenixes and a Treasure Cruise here, which is hilarious because they still can't do this. So they got to get into the Floatmoors here to bounce the Deafening Silence. And we desperately need here to hit the... we desperately need to hit a red source as fast as possible. The great thing here about this that I actually love is that Deafening Silence, if they can't play anything here, will force them to just be like, oh, you can't do anything, haha. There's a Tyrant Scorn to clear the way. We'll play the Ancient Cornucopia because it's red mana when we need it. Attack in. Now if they go for the Treasure Cruise here, they then can't cast anything else, which is great for us. Yep, here comes the Treasure Cruise. And they've played a land for turn. Yep, see, they're trying to treasure, you know, there's... The greatest thing about Deafening Silence with Phoenix players that are slow is the fact that it will literally just go, you can't do anything, we're passing the turn. Screw your whole, I'm a slow player. There's a Brazen Borrow's bounce, so now they've got to cast 2 more spells to get the Phoenixes back here. There's a Sleight of Hand. And a land into a Picklock Prankster. So there's 3. There's 2 Phoenixes that come back. We will immediately Vanishing Verse one of them so they don't have it. Gain 2 life. Second Phoenix comes back. They don't even want to attack right away. Like, you see how slow they are. Lightning Helix that. Then cast the Ashiok here. More important to just nuke their graveyard. There goes their entire thing, attacking them down to 12. There's a Phoenix flashed out. Hits Ashiok down to 1. Shock in. Play a Picklock Prankster. Play a land for turn. We'll start with a Lightning Helix on the Phoenix, gaining 2 life and 3 life. Minus the Ashiok to just get rid of it, exile more with their graveyard. redeploy the Deafening Silence here, and then we just won't attack. We're on 25 life against a deck that's lost 3 of its Phoenixes and 2 of its Corey Steelcutters. Like, genuinely, they don't probably have a way to actually win the game now. Like, even the Prophetic Memory can't even pump a thing huge here. Well, there's an Niv-Mizzet, but that would probably get countered. But it might be worth just deploying it here. Yeah, let's see what they have. We'll gain 5 life either way. Yep, there's a Mystical Dispute. We can get that back with a Deafening Colligan's Command here. Still on 30 life. Gaining life every turn. They go for a Treasure Cruise, tapping out all their mana. At the time, I remember now, I genuinely was checking their thing here, thinking to myself, I wonder if they have, like, genuinely have, Right, I'm not going to attack here. I'm going to wait and hold on to the Colligan's Command. Because I want to use it during their turn, after they've used a spell here. There's a Picklock. Milling 4. They can't cast a spell now. They get back a Treasure Cruise. Move to combat. Let's return a Niv-Mizzet and do damage to the Brazen Borrower. They replay a Picklock Prankster. They could just have another one here, but I'm going to just do it to gain 5 more life. Yep, there's Mystical Dispute, so we could have waited a turn there. Wouldn't have really mattered. Like I said, we're dealing with this here. They don't really have any win cons left in their deck right now. They're literally just drawing for the purpose of drawing. And I thought to myself, they could have... maybe they sideboarded in a Thassa's Oracle, which would be like a hell of a play here. Like, genuinely, I think this guy is looking at his deck going, how do I win? How do I win? Alright, there's another Ancient Cornucopia. We're going to play white here and play the Yorion. Gaining 2. Then we'll blink the board here. And we'll get the second Cornucopia down, giving us more ways to gain life for every spell we draw here. Then we'll pump with a Knight of Autumn here to put 2 counters on it, so it's harder for them. It can jump through some of their Picklock Pranksters here. There's an Opt for their 1 spell a turn. They've been under the barrel of Deafening Silence this entire game. So honestly, this is me just double checking that they probably don't have it. Yeah, they're just drawing here down to 7. I don't know if they're trying to draw their whole deck to maybe find an answer, but I'm really struggling to think what they have in their deck that could even be an answer at this point. Right, that's just a land, so let's just attack in here. There's an Ether Gust. I will put that on top because I ain't too bothered. They block with one of their Picklock Pranksters. There's a Steel Cutter, but you can't cast another non-creature spell. So you got to cast a creature spell here to trigger it. But you've probably cast most of your creature spells. Okay, well, we're going to go into combat here and attack with the Yorion. Then we'll just play the Knight of Autumn, gain 4 life here. Then we'll blow up your other Steel Cutter. And what else do you have to win the game here? They consider... And, yep, they are down to 7 minutes left. Oh, they were looking for a Deafening Silence here. And I was thinking, okay, I could be now dying to a, and they just concede. Like, was that to try and flex and say, I had a way out? No, you didn't, buddy. You wasted your time.